Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin, see kind of what's going on here today again. As per usual, this is my daily driver, just making sure you're staying abreast on what's going on. And obviously making sure we understand a little bit more about where it could progress over the near future. So if you're new to the channel, not a financial advisor, I just love teaching people how to trade. This is my day job, and I have a trading community that I just truly do love helping, working, and interacting with my members. It's just an amazing experience, and I hope you can consider joining if you'd like to learn more about becoming a better trader. I have a trading academy I'm rolling out with month end as well, if that might be of interest to you. So moving forward here, looking at Bitcoin, let's just go ahead and address some of the obvious facts, right? So we probably don't need to go into great detail here today. If you saw my video yesterday, you'll note that we are bearish on the short term for Bitcoin right now. In fact, we just took profits on a short trade for our community. And the main reason why is just because it's not showing a lot of strength. It is showing, bearish divergence type of patterns. And I'll show what I mean by that here as well, just kind of recap on some of that. But again, mostly just kind of summarizing the obvious here today, okay? So we're under the 50 and the 200-day simple moving average, had the recent death cross, which really wasn't all that deadly. it kind of went red for one day and then the green and then double doji over the weekend. And by the way, too, if you're not familiar with double doji patterns, go ahead and do your research. But traditionally speaking, when you have 2 days of indecision, because a doji candle is a state of indecision, essentially, it tells us there's likely going to be a reversal, especially to the downside when you have a push up prior to that. It's very rare for the price to push up, double doji, and then push up again. Okay, and the reason why is because the bears and the bulls are kind of fighting in that time frame, so to speak. So 48 hours straight, the bears or the bulls could commit in one direction or the other. But the fact that it came from the downside to the upside implies that we're going to see the price go down from there, based on the simple fact that it couldn't go up any further, and the bears were pushing the price down or holding it in place, if you will. It eventually left the bulls exhausted, and the price comes down inevitably. That's how it works. That's why a short position was, I feel, a good call when you see a double doji candle. So hate to say I told you so, but that is essentially what happened, and we should expect to see a continuation of the downside as well. Now, we might not see a tremendous amount of continuation, because if we look at the 4-hour chart, we can see that we have a lot of exhaustion here. And what I mean by that is just that we are well past a 9. We are essentially 4 4-hour candlesticks into overtime. So we're roughly 16 hours into this continuation of the downside. So the likelihood of it continuing much further right now in the immediate future is fairly low, but I'm not surprised to see the price pushing down as well, based on the simple fact that we saw, not a lot of confidence over the weekend. There's literally no increase or decrease in price over the weekend. And then, of course, yesterday being a holiday kind of added to that little negativity, so to speak, and the price just continued to progress downwards. So we see this same pattern with a lot of coins right now, where the price is just continuing to digress and not looking good at all. But just note, we are exhausted on the 4-hour. The midterm is telling us we should expect a turnaround, or if nothing else, a state of consolidation. I don't think we're going to see a turnaround personally. I think we might see some sideways action for the next 12 to 24 hours, and then another leg down. I think that leg down will come closer to 40,500 and test that support level. It's been tested 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times in the past, 10 days? So in 10 days, we've seen a test 5 times. So almost, well, that's 5 times on the 4-hour chart. So don't get me wrong, that's not like 5 days in a row, but that is a total, that's a large percentage of the amount of volume that we have, right? And if you kind of consider the fact that the more often you're going to test the support level, the more likely it is to break, how certain are we that 40,500 is going to hold when we get there? Okay. Now, again, it could turn around. We could see Bitcoin shoot up to 46,000 tomorrow. We never truly know, right? But all the indications here are telling us that we have this bearish divergence. We have a descending wedge pattern, and the likelihood of it breaking to the upside is a lot lower than it is to the downside, especially considering the state of the fear, uncertainty, and doubt in the market and everything there. I think the likelihood of Bitcoin breaking down is fairly high. Now, is it going to break down forever? No, because we have a lot of other factors in place. We just need to understand, though, that if we kind of compare this current I guess scenario, if we kind of just highlight this little time frame, right? Ever since Bitcoin sold off on the 5th of December, the last, what is that, about 6 to 7 weeks. The last 6 to 7 weeks, if we were to kind of copy that, right? So just say we move this over here, we still have a little bit more downside that hasn't come to fruition yet. Okay, so again, should we expect Bitcoin to be 30,000? No, I don't think so at all. I think 37.5 would be the lowest we're going to see in the immediate future. But I do think that this continuation, based on the fact that it's digressed almost identically, implies that we have a little bit longer in this period for the price to play out. Okay, And you can see the same thing too if you look at like previous leverage, and there's a lot of different scenarios. I don't have that pulled up, I'm sorry, right now, but I can assure you that if you look at previous timeframes where prices actually have stayed very low, like it is right now, it takes longer for it to recover, right? You've heard me say the term, what if you the harder something falls, the longer it takes to recover, right? Well, when Bitcoin dropped, I mean, you think about this, that's a roughly 1 week period. Bitcoin dropped almost 50% in 1 week. That was a lot. Now, granted, it wasn't the same exact amount. It took a little bit longer, but if we look at this here, Bitcoin dropped almost 40% in roughly about 2 weeks, okay? So that being said, we're going to expect to see a little bit more time. We need a little bit more time at this level to build a volume, a strong base and volume in order to recover from there, okay? And let's just go ahead and talk about that. So volume, if we kind of take a look at the volume in the last, ever since the price was at its lowest, September 29th, that was like effectively the lowest price in which it was at before it ramped up and did pretty strong. Now, in that time frame, of course, we had, the price went up very fast, very quick. And it makes sense as to why it's coming back down, because it increased too quickly, right? But more importantly, if we look at the volume profile here, we can see we've got, 48,000 is a strong potential resistance, whereas we don't have a tremendous amount of volume in this current zone right now. Yes, it's getting volume, we're gaining volume. We don't have enough as a base to be able to build on, right? Because you can't build a strong building with no foundation, right? We don't have a foundation of volume at this price point yet, and until we do, then we can't consider that to be a support, okay? Now, obviously, 40,500 is proven to be a support. It's been tested a few times, but on the same accord, we don't have volume reiterating the fact that we can rely on this price point being a good specific place. So my speculation here is we're going to probably see a candle wick down, probably somewhere to the range of 37,000, 38,000, maybe in that range. And then the price will probably recover back up to 40,500. We'll probably have this little knee-jerk reaction where the price comes down, we get that little recovery, and then from there, I think we're going to be able to have enough volume at that price point to increase up higher. Again, this is all just volume speculation. Not a lot of certainty there, but I can tell you that volume speaks very, very loud in the sense of support and resistance zones. We're below a lot of volume accumulation right now, and we need to build that base before we can come back up. That's just, again, something that I like to look at and understand. I really think that volume is an important indicator not a lot of people pay attention to. Other indicators, too, to understand, we're well under 30 on the RSI. We don't have any strength right now. And the same thing with the 4-hour too. I mean, we're coming down close to 30. Anytime you get close to 30 on the 4-hour chart, the likelihood of it going much lower is lower, right? It's not very high, which is why I feel like the RSI will slowly recover over the next 24 hours and then digress again to test that 30 again. And the reason why I think that is just this pattern that's forming here, we have this bearish divergence. It's not really strong. It's not really a good indication of a turnaround. We've got significant reversal here, whereas the price should likely continue to digress. MACD shows there's no consideration for a reversal at all. The only thing that obviously is low is the RSI. And if we've seen previously, anytime the RSI comes close to 30, it'll come back up and recover. So I don't see any reason why the price won't come back up to recover soon, but I also don't see any reason why it's going to do that in the next 24 to 48 hours. Okay. Again, just based on what I see here so far, I think that's roughly where we're at. I could be totally off base, but honestly, the last few decreases have been pretty predictable. A lot of dead cats. Okay, and I think we might see one last attempt to come down before it comes up. Last thing to note too is silver lining here, of course, Bitcoin does have, it's really low on its overall dominance. In other words, there's a good chance we could see a recovery in the next couple of weeks. I'm still bullish on Bitcoin recovering in the month of February, March, April, etc. I think we're going to see a recovery from Bitcoin soon. I just don't think it's going to happen in the next week. I think the next week will be bearish, and we'll probably start seeing more so bullish continuation to the upside soon, but not immediately. Okay, so just be prepared for that. I know it seems kind of contradictory, but in the sense of big picture, none of the technical indicators here are telling us we have a buy signal for Bitcoin. The only recommendation, of course, would be consider dollar cost averaging. That's the recommendation for any scenario when the prices are always going down. But DCA effectively, okay? And then what I mean by that is don't take a full, your entire portfolio and put it into Bitcoin right now. You could get lucky, sure. Not a lot of times that happens though. Oftentimes you'll put your bag in and it comes lower and you got mad that you did that and you got to wait it out. So why not put a little bit in now and perhaps a little bit in lower when the price comes down? I do think 40,000 would be a realistic target to shoot for, as far as, you know, a good place to kind of build a foundation of either Bitcoin and whatever other altcoins at that time. Because I don't foresee the price coming any lower than 37.5. And if it were to even come down that low, it'll probably just be a candle wick down. It shouldn't stay down there for long. I do think that 40,000, 40,500 is a pretty decent buy wall, and we shouldn't expect a tremendous amount of, you know, price action lower than that. All right, so I hope that you learned something here today. I hope this was informative, and I look forward to working with you in the future. If you decide you want to become a member, if not, that's okay too. Comment below if you have any questions, concerns. Feel free to reach out to me through social media at CryptoCache Tech, and we'll look forward to getting in touch with you at a later date. Thanks again for your time. I'll see you soon. Take care.